it's Trina, and this is a very last minute addition to this week's Top 5 Wednesday topic, but the topic this week was favorite retellings, so I wanted to kind of put my 2 cents in because I do love retellings. All of the retellings that I'm going to be mentioning today are going to be ones that are lesser known, or at least I personally haven't heard that many people actually reading and talking about them, at least not on BookTube. This list is not ranked. The first retelling I want to recommend is Toads and Diamonds by Heather Tomlinson, and I do have an entire video recommendation up for this book because I really like it. It is so underrated. This is a retelling of a classic French fairy tale called Diamonds and Toads, in which 2 sisters, one is bestowed with the gift of every time she speaks, diamonds and flowers fall out of her mouth, and the other one is cursed with frogs and snakes falling out of her mouth every time she speaks. This book actually sets it in India, so this is a diverse book. The characters in the setting are diverse and the writing is very descriptive and beautiful, but the twist that this book really does is that the toads and the snakes aren't necessarily a curse. Like, that sister actually has a really important role, and the sister that has the blessing of the diamonds and flowers and gemstones, they're pretty, but it doesn't always mean that you're gonna be rich or that you're gonna be valued. Next, I want to recommend Enchanted by Alethea Kontis. This is a very classic fairy tale land. The main retelling in this book was The Princess and the Frog. We also see a lot of different elements from other fairy tales thrown in, like Cinderella. It's kind of like the roles of all these different fairy tales we see played out through the same characters. I think if you really love that classic fairy tale setup and like princess and castles and kingdoms like that, I think you would really enjoy the setting and the story in this book. So the rest of these are not fairy tale retellings, but one that I would recommend, I've talked about it a bit recently, is the Madman's Daughter trilogy by Meagan Shepard. I've only read the first 2 books in this so far, but these are retellings of classic Gothic literature. So the first book, The Madman's Daughter, is a retelling of the classic The Island of Dr. Moreau. The second book is a retelling of The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and the third book is a retelling of Frankenstein. So I was not a fan of the second book, Her Dark Curiosity. As a retelling of Jekyll and Hyde, it didn't work for me because I was very familiar with Jekyll and Hyde, and it lost some of the appeal to that original story amidst this love triangle thing that's going on. But that first book, The Madman's Daughter, I don't know if it's because I just wasn't familiar with the original story, but I loved it. I thought it worked really well. These are great books to read during Halloween time if you're looking for something that's slightly creepy. Next is the Abandoned trilogy by Meg Cabot. There are 3 books. And it's a trilogy, of course there are 3 books. This is a retelling of the Hades and Persephone myth, and I really liked the first book. Now, I will be honest with you, I didn't like the way the series ended. It's a very, very YA and romance heavy series, but if that's something that you're looking for and you haven't read a lot of Hades and Persephone retellings, it definitely would be one to check out. And lastly is my favorite from this list. It is When You Were Mine by Rebecca Serle, which is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet from the point of view of Rosalind, who is a character in the original play Romeo and Juliet, but she was a character that Romeo was infatuated with before he met Juliet. This retelling is modern day high school YA from Rosalind's point of view, watching the boy that she loves and she thought they were going to get together suddenly is with her cousin Juliet, and she's watching this whole tragedy unfold between the 2 of them. I really liked this book and I would really, really recommend it. I really liked the twist on that classic Romeo and Juliet tale that we all know so well. It was different enough because we had that other character's point of view. So I hope you guys will check out these lesser known retellings. If you have read any of them, please let me know what you thought of them down below, or let me know if this video has let you know of a new book that you didn't know of before, or if you want to read any of them. I would love to discuss with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the comments. Bye!